Hello, everyone. Now that E3 is done, I've decided to talk about all the conferences, what I'm excited for, what I thought, and all that sort of stuff. I was originally going to do it all in one video, however, after looking at my notes, which I'm currently looking at right now, it seemed like too much to try and fit in one video. So instead, I've split it up. So, part one, which is the part you're watching right now, is all of my third party content. And part two is all about the big three. So let's dive into our first conference from our third party support. And honestly, the worst conference of E3, EA's. Now, EA got to start off E3, and they honestly were pretty bad. There's some weird pacing and transitions, such as going from how crushing loneliness is and going straight to basketball. They revealed more information about Battlefield 5, which isn't my type of game, but I get that it has their fans. It was cool that they have a female character on the cover and took out loot boxes, both of which I have heard fans wanted to happen, but at the same time I also heard people complaining about the woman thing. Whatever. Battlefield 5 fans, eat your hearts out. And then after that, they followed it with sports games that are being released. Now, I personally play soccer and like FIFA games, but I'm not really a big fan to the point where I'll notice a difference between the games every year. Like, they add new tweaks, like, oh, the ball moves a little better now, blah, 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 blah. I don't notice those, but I get why they release a new one every year. I mostly get the new ones for the updated roster. That's about it. Now, the small reveal about the new Respawn Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sounds cool, but all we got was the title. I'm hoping that the gameplay is similar to Star Wars Unleashed, because that's some of my favorite Star Wars series. And then we got Anthem, which looks amazing, and it looks like a lot of fun. But, and this is a big one, I didn't want to hear them talk about it for 20 minutes. Instead, just show some gameplay, hype me up, and move on. Keep the Q&A / the further discussion to a post show, not during the E3 conference itself, because the general audience might not care. And I'm one of those people that really didn't care about the Q&A. I just wanted to see the game. The game looked beautiful, and what little gameplay they did show had me like hyped up, ready to go. But then they would go to the Q&A, and I was just looking at my clock like, okay, how much longer do I have for EA to finish? So EA started off the week, and they kind of started off horrible, but E3 gets a lot better, believe me. Moving on to the next third-party support is Bethesda. I've started off. I haven't played a lot of Bethesda games. I've played Doom. I've played something else that I played that was technically Bethesda. I forgot what it was. And I've heard that they are great games. I understand that. But when I was younger, I wasn't much of a big gamer, so I didn't really stray much from the AAA titles that I knew I would enjoy, or like the Marvel games, stuff like that. Things that I knew I already had a fandom in. But boy, am I excited to be playing some of these games. My first Bethesda game, like I said earlier, was Doom, which I currently have. I've only played a little bit of it, so I wouldn't even consider that my first game. But after seeing the sequel, I'm super hyped. I want to jump back into the first Doom. I will probably play it on stream, especially if you guys want to see that. So let me know about that. Bethesda's conference was just overall fun, honestly. So like, if we start off with them talking about how Walmart revealed Rage 2, and they just kind of throw jokes, and we get that throughout the conference. Then they have a concert with Andrew WK, which what I remember him for is Destroy, Build, Destroy, which I loved as a kid. So seeing Andrew WK pop up in content here and there that I watch, I like. But the concert did go on for a little bit too much. Like, they could have cut it down a little shorter. It was a little weird. I think the worst part was they were cutting to the crowd, and some of the crowd members are like, yeah, let's go, rock, rock, rock. And then other crowd members are like, what's happening? Just show me the games. And it's like, next time don't cut to the audience, or just cut his set a little shorter. But the game that got me really hyped up wasn't Rage. Now I know that's the game like he was playing in front of, but it just doesn't really seem like my type of game. Maybe if I see more gameplay or more information on it or something, it might catch my interest, but as of now, it doesn't seem like my type of game. However, Prey is getting all this new DLC and new game modes and all that. Prey was one of those games that I saw, I liked, but wasn't a release day buy for me. Now, to see that it's getting more content added to it, I could see myself picking it up next time it's on sale, honestly. Because Prey definitely, I've heard good things. It was just one of the many games that I missed when it was released, but that survival mode looks so nice, and I'm ready to hop into it. Now, next, another game that I've never played in the series but looked amazing was Wolfenstein Youngblood. Now, I'm just hoping it releases for Switch on the same day as the other consoles. I haven't looked into it at all. I just saw whatever, I forgot the release date, but I just saw whatever they showed at E3. And I haven't played any of the Wolfenstein games, but I plan on picking up Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, on Switch, which is why I'm hoping the new Youngblood version will also be on Switch. Now, one of my favorite parts about Bethesda's conference had nothing to do with the game, and it was the Skyrim IRL skit, where the Skyrim, whatever edition it was, that it's like they're just talking, and it's real life. It's real life edition. Now, I haven't done much follow up on this, but I heard that they actually made it a real thing, and it like you can actually buy this product. So if that's true, that's a little weird. That, in my opinion, doesn't make the skit as funny as it was when it was fake. But then we get to follow up with Fallout 76. Now, we saw some of Fallout 76 in Xbox conference, which I haven't talked about in this video. I will talk about it in part 2. But I've never played a Fallout game. Another one of those games that you can add to that list of games that I should have already played, but have never played. And boy, does Fallout 76 look like fun. I obviously have some concerns, like the fact that it's online, and it seems to me, at least from the conference, that you have to play online. Now, I get that they said you could play a solo experience, but my least favorite part about GTA 5 Online is the fact that people are already in your game, in your server, because there's people in GTA who just run around and their only goal is to ruin your day by killing you and messing up your progress. Now, if that's what happens on Fallout 76, I could see that turning me away from the game really early, just like GTA 5 Online did. But I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping there's some sort of way to create a private server or something where it's like, yeah, me and my 2 friends who get the game or whatever, me and my 4 friends who get the game, whatever, can all be part of one central hub, and we might run into each other and stuff, but we don't have complete strangers coming in and shooting us and ruining the game for us. Now, this was followed by Fallout Shelter, which I personally didn't enjoy, but it's cool. It's on Switch now and PS4, or it's coming to Switch and PS4. Whatever. If that's your type of game, that's your type of game. It's not mine. I'm not going to get it. But hey, for those who wanted it on console, they got it on console. Now, I have never played an Elder Scroll game. Although, I want to pick up Skyrim on Switch. I just haven't gotten it yet. I'm very much a bargain hunter. I'm a bargain gamer. So I look for like the Black Friday deals where the games go on half price, stuff like that. I don't just pick up a game on release. Very few games I do pick up on release. So, because of that, I haven't picked up Skyrim. I will eventually play Skyrim, but Elder Scrolls 6 for next gen. That's what they said, specifically next gen. I will probably pick up on release. I can see myself picking it up on release. Overall, I thought Bethesda did pretty well, and they kept me hyped enough. I won't say hyped the whole time because there was definitely lulls in there, like the Fallout Shelter stuff, where I was just like, okay, let's just move on. But I was hyped enough where I didn't feel bored like I did with EA. Like, EA actually bored me to the point where I did legitimately look at the clock, and EA I had to watch in 2 parts, even though it wasn't that long of a conference. I still had to watch it for a bit, stop, and then watch it again, just because I did get bored. Now, I was told to avoid Devolver Digital, because last year apparently it was mostly a joke, and there's not really anything cool that comes out of it. And apparently this year was also a large joke, and none of the games were too noteworthy, so I just skipped it altogether. And similarly, I'm not really a PC gamer, so I didn't watch the PC one either. I think it's like PC developer or something like that. Something like that. Where they show a lot of indie games and stuff. Not my cup of tea. Good for you PC gamers. Keep to it. I'm just going to move on. Now, when it comes to Square's performance, I love Kingdom Hearts 3, and it hurts me to say this, but I thought it was pretty meh. I like the speed and how little they talked about some games, but it didn't feel like they needed to hold a conference. It felt like all the games that they showed could have been shown at other conferences. Like, they didn't need to have their own. For example, I'm excited for games like Octopath Traveler, but we've seen a lot from the game already, which is why they only talked a little bit about it. That could have been shown at Nintendo. Just, hey, here's a reminder from Nintendo. You didn't have to come out and do anything for that. The Quiet Man, which looks really good, but we didn't get any information about it. It was literally just, here's a weird CG slash IRL slash in-game trailer type of thing, and here's the name of the game, and we're not going to talk about it at all. I don't know if they went on to talk about it at future interviews and stuff like that. I'd assume they would, just because I can't be the only one who was like, oh, that game looks good. Wait, we didn't get any information? So I'm sure they talked about it somewhere, but again, I just watched the conferences, and I'm just watching what they showed us and just talking about what they showed us. And they didn't show us much when it came to that game. Now, let's see. After that, we got Kingdom Hearts 3. But nothing new, really. There's a couple scenes there that hyped me up, that I loved. But again, you could have just thrown that in either Sony's trailer or Xbox's trailer. Those extra little scenes, you could have just put them there. Or just have videos posted on your YouTube channel or whatever, on your Twitter account, just being like, hey, it's E3. We didn't want to do a conference because we didn't feel we needed to, but here's some more Kingdom Hearts news. Here's some Kingdom Hearts trailer. And the fans would be hyped all the same. Now, I was hugely disappointed by the lack of Avengers or Final Fantasy VII Remake information. Those are 2 big games for Square. That would have made the conference worth it if they had some information. Because whether it was like, hey, here's a release window, even though we know Square can't hit those release windows for anything. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3, 2018, right? Nope. January 29th, 2019. But it's fine. I'm willing to wait. I've waited long enough. What's a couple extra months? Like, come on. But they really dropped the ball. But I don't think it was as bad as EA. But I don't think it was our top tier conference. I think that goes, at least for third-party support, to Bethesda. Or the next person we're going to talk about, Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft started off with Just Dance 2019 in real life. They had people dancing, they had what looked like a clip that was recorded previously, and then they brought actual people to dance on their stage. Now, I'm not really a fan of Just Dance. I don't like to dance, at least not for video games. But their performance was a bit long, but I still enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't like I was sitting there going, why are they doing this? No, it was fun. It had me kind of like, oh yeah, I know some of these songs. Cool, cool, cool. And then that was followed by Beyond Good and Evil 2, which looks interesting. And for those who enjoy that game, great for you. Doesn't look like my kind of game, honestly, so I won't probably talk more about it. But, but, it was really cool to have Joseph Gordon-Levitt actually show up and talk about Hit Record, and their partnership with Beyond Good and Evil 2 in order to put art into the game. That's really cool that fans of the game will actually be involved in the making of the game. That's not something I've heard of personally, at least not for a AAA game, which arguable whether or not Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a AAA game, but that's besides the point. But yeah, it's really cool that they're actually going to put people's art in the game. And I heard later that you will actually get paid for the art that makes it into the game. So it's not like you're just doing this for free and putting in this time and effort for free. You actually get money if your art makes it in. And it's not just drawings. No, it's also music and stuff like that. Any form of art is going to be put in the game and they'll pay you for it, which is great. Now, they did have a slight mess up, but it was a nice mess up where they didn't shut off the mics once. I forgot the two people's names, but they walk off stage after talking about Beyond Good and Evil. And then you hear the girl say, "We nailed it! We nailed it!" And it was like, ooh, you were supposed to shut off the mics already. At the same time, it was like, that's sweet. The fact that you could see the nerves, like, or you couldn't see it. That was the thing. You couldn't see the nerves. But just by that small statement, you knew how excited she was about how well that presentation went. And it did go well. I enjoyed it. Again, not my type of game, but still, it wasn't boring me. So that was fine with me. Now, I love the trials bit. I get the tumble looked fake as all could be, but I thought it was really funny. Just having the guy come in on a bike and crash into a TV. Now, I just got trials for free on PlayStation Plus. So, depending on how that goes and whether or not I like it or not, because I've never played a Trials game, but if I like it, I'll look into Trials Fusion. Or no, Fusion is the current one. Whatever the new Trials game is. But if I don't like it, I'm not gonna look into the next game, obviously. But I love the bit. Now, as someone who never played The Division, because it just didn't interest me at the time, and it had so many bugs when it first came out, similar to Destiny, where, they have so many problems coming out with these online games that I didn't want to invest into another one. But The Division 2 looks like fun, and it looks like it's learning from the mistakes that Destiny 2 did. And this could become the new game that I play with my friends, Like, I've been looking for a game where I can do raids and stuff. This has 8-player raids, which would be fun. If I could get a team of 8 people and stream it and just live life and enjoy it, I think that would be cool. So Division 2 is on my radar now. For sure. Plus, they already have planned DLC. And unlike Destiny, it's free. All free. 3 episodes, free DLC for next year. And it's like, all right, I'm in it. Give me that game and give me the free DLC. Now, we got a weird transition to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the new Donkey Kong DLC, which we already knew about. I personally really love Mario plus Rabbids. It was one of those games where I was like, I'll give it a try. I like Mario. I like this style of game, like XCOM and stuff like that. So I'll give it a try. And I played it, and then I played it some more, and I played it a lot more, and I was like, oh snap, I've put in like 6 hours sitting down in a row, which might not seem a lot to some of you, but for me, putting in 6 hours nonstop on a game is a lot. Like, that's not something I do on a normal play session. That's something I, not even on stream. On stream, I do 5 hour streams because of that. Because me sitting down and playing one game for that long tends to bore me. So it was really cool to see that Donkey Kong DLC is getting added. Do I think they should have put in the presentation? No. Was the music a little weird? Yeah, kind of. But music's definitely in for E3, and almost everyone had music, like a live performance. So I don't really expect it to disappear next year. And all the music pieces were kind of like some of it fit, but it was still weird, similar to Donkey Kong, where I think it fit. It just was a little weird and probably shouldn't have been used at E3. But that being said, let's move on to Fake Black Flag, which isn't my type of game. So that part dragged on a little bit too much for me. I'm not gonna lie. But I understand that there's people who want a new boat game, love Black Flag, and were disappointed with Sea of Thieves. And I think this game is going to fit that void for those of you who are looking for something like Sea of Thieves, like Black Flag, that isn't Black Flag or Sea of Thieves. From what I've heard, the gameplay is phenomenal. But once again, it's not my type of game. I just don't like ships, which is the hardest part for me on Black Flag. I kind of enjoyed the Black Flag ship battles. So for my first Assassin's Creed being Black Flag, it's like I love the combat in Assassin's Creed. Don't really like the ships. So, but we'll talk about Assassin's Creed in a little bit, because next was the Starlink Toys to Life game, which looks okay. Looks like fun. And I'm glad to see that Star Fox will show up on the Switch version due to that Nintendo Ubisoft partnership. I love that that's still happening, because if that means we can get more Ubisoft, however you pronounce their company, games on the Switch, I'm here for it. Because if I can get a game on the Switch, I want it. Because I like to travel, so not having to be at home and play a console, I can just play it on the go wherever I go. You figure whether it's conventions or just visiting family or whatever it is, having that Switch, just pull it out of my pocket, play a bit, put it back in my backpack or whatever, and then picking up the game instead of having to sit connected to a TV. I think I've only docked my Switch once, and that was to stream off my Switch. So it's like, the more that these two companies share together, the better, in my opinion. But when it comes to Starlink, I won't pick it up because you guys probably can't see on my shelf, but I've picked up basically every Toy to Life game, and all of them have been canceled. Skylanders, I picked up the first iteration. Disney Infinity, I picked up the first iteration. Lego Dimensions, I have some of them just sitting on my shelf right there. And all three of those games have been canceled. The only Toy to Life that has not been canceled is Amiibos. And I think the reason behind that is because it's not tied to one game. Plus, it's Nintendo characters. So, like, I know people who have nothing to do with gaming anymore. They very rarely play, but they were like, oh, I remember Mario. Ooh, I want to pick up a Mario. Or, ooh, I want to pick up a Mega Man. Stuff like that. So I think that's why Amiibos don't necessarily fit the Toy to Life getting canceled. But for those of you who are excited for Starlink, I hope that it does well, and I hope they continue making chips for you. But I just don't have high hopes on this game. Now, let's get into Assassin's Creed. It's one of those series that I miss growing up. Now, I finally picked Black Flag up on Black Friday. Black Friday. Funny. And I've been playing through it recently, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Again, ships aren't my type of gameplay, but for whatever reason, Black Flag is able to entertain me. And now, looking at Odyssey, it looks so nice. It looks beautiful. I love the story. I like how you can choose a boy or a girl, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the story at all. I think that's really cool. And then recently, I've considered picking up Origins because I love Black Flag so much. Now, Origins came out before I picked up Black Flag. Or before, not before, it might have been after Black Flag, after Black Friday, but it definitely was before I started playing Black Flag because I just recently started playing Black Flag. So I didn't pick up Origins. Well, right now, GameStop has a deal where you can pick up Assassin's Creed Origins and get a Blue Yeti mic, which for those of you who watch my streams, you guys know that my headset mic doesn't work. So I'm actually using my webcam mic. So if I could get a plug-in mic, that would improve the YouTube videos as well as my streams. And it's $100, which the mic itself is normally $100 to $150. So you basically get Origins for free. So I'm considering picking that up. Also, my favorite part about Odyssey that they showed was the fact that your choices affect the outcome. Even if it makes trophy hunting hard, I love that. That's my favorite part about Telltale games. That's what I loved about Marvel Ultimate Alliance. At the end of the game, it tells you like, oh, you didn't do these optional missions, so now your story got diverted a little bit. Stuff like that, I enjoy. Overall, Ubisoft had some weird beat choices when it came to going from game to game, but I really enjoyed the conference a lot, and I'm super hyped for what is to come. Now, finally, watching E3 has me excited for the future of gaming. Kingdom Hearts 3 is actually happening, guys. Like, it's not just a dream anymore. It's actually a thing. We have a release date, even if it's in 2019. At least we have a date that they will hopefully hit. Plus, there's just so many great games coming out these next couple of years for everyone to be excited for. I think I can honestly say that. Most people, if you watched E3, had a game that you want to come out now. Like, that you want right this second. No matter what type of gamer you are. As long as you are a gamer, I think E3 delivered this year, which is nice. My goal is to hopefully be able to attend E3 in the next couple of years and be able to have some hands-on experience of just watch instead of just watching it from home. I would love to show videos of me at E3, actually playing some of the games, stuff like that. Kind of like what I'll do with RTX, where I'll take pictures and videos while I'm there, stuff like that, and upload them for you guys. Now, with all these games coming out, my wallet is definitely going to be hurting. But man, is it a great time to be a gamer and a streamer. Until next time, I'll catch you later.